Welcome back. So with us is a Tecno Spark 8 Pro. You said what?
Spark 8 Pro.
Spark 8 Pro. So the thing no longer charges properly, and we are going to have to work on the charging port. Today we will simply replace it. But before that, I think I need to get the brief history on it. So how did it start? How did you notice that it had stopped working? Just describe to me the events before and after, surrounding when it stopped working.
Like at first I thought like it was actually the USB that had an issue. Cause like when I fixed the USB, the charger, like that light on top, it keeps on blinking just.
Okay.
So I bought a new USB, and when I replaced it, it was still the same story.
Okay.
It just keeps on blinking.
So like you woke up one day, it stopped charging, or it stopped gradually?
Like just one day.
One day. Okay. Anyway, it's possible that can be a port, because usually at times the history helps you determine whether it's the port, the charging subboard, or the charging IC. And now let's get inside. So right now there's no charge on it. Nothing. Nothing.
There's some power.
Oh, it's actually on. All right. So let me first shut it down because you can't work on the phone on. So anyway, we're going to shut it down and then open it. And I think you may feel free to hit the subscribe button and feel free to watch more of the videos. The hope is that, we just enlighten you about smartphones. I mean, times you may need to repair and you need the confidence that it can be done, or perhaps you need to do it yourself, and this should be helpful. Anyway, so we need to remove our SIM card tray now that the phone has shut down, and need a SIM ejection tool, in which case I have a cheap super glue pin, and that should do the job just all right. Now these lines are a bit tricky. I may misplace them, so you keep them. Right. Now, okay, this one I think we just pry in between because I don't see any gap between the cover and it, and the fingerprint is on the power button. And yeah, so I think to many of the whites who watch these videos, you wonder why people repair phones, but at times it's just a cheap way of moving on with life. And we actually have very good repair people down here in Africa, and some of the things are not supposed to go into the landfills, and this helps prolong its useful life. And in Africa, these phones are very helpful in the sense that your mobile banking is right there, your calls are right there. Didn't obviously the surgical blade. I picked them from the platform. Surgical blade. All right, so we get in between. So I'd promised that this task should be a task that takes 15 minutes. Let's see if we beat that. So this actually involves you just nudging the back cover like that. Surgical blade is very helpful in that it has a thin end that can get in between, and it also the strength to allow you bend it without breaking, so that you can pry the back cover. I don't know whether I should call it the back cover, but the back frame off. Because if it were a cover, it would be easily removable, but it's really tough. So I'm going to go all along the bottom here. And yeah, so if you're new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button. We are coming live from Kampala, Uganda, and this is just to show you that some of the things are actually pretty easy to do. You just need to know what to avoid and have the confidence to go in. Now I think I have some adhesive underneath here, so I'm going to use brute force to pry it off, but again, not so much to rip the fingerprint fiber. So this connects somewhere there, so I need to limit how far the cover comes off, okay, up to that stage, and then flip it over. Now this is the fiber we need to take care of. So the next thing is to open those top screws. I really don't need to remove this, but since I'm accessing down here, but I guess I don't have to. Let me first see if I can save myself some time without, because I don't need to have the entire phone. If I can only pick the lower subboard, I should be okay. Okay, so first screw. Okay, I think I'm the first inside here, because you can see the warranty sticker right there. So when you puncture that, that's how the people who sell the phones know that this phone was opened, and that makes usually your warranty null and void. But how long have you had this one?
A year and a half.
Wow, I think you're now way beyond that warranty period. But that's how they tend to know. Now, like also water damage, I think Apple guys, they put some sticker which when water goes on it, it changes color. So, and they don't cover that under warranty. So you take it, like, was it opened? No. Did water spill in? Yes. Like, you have to pay for the repairs if you want. Okay, so this coaxial fiber is around there, so we need to lift it up, because at times you risk tearing it if you force open the back. Okay, so this is off, and then this is the subboard we need to pick. So first disconnect the coaxial antenna, okay, coaxial cable that brings network signals to the lower subboard. Okay, from the lower subboard to the main board. Now we need to remove that screw right there, and down here is your vibrator. Your microphone is there, assuming you needed to replace it, and this is the port that we need to change. Now occasionally they tend to have adhesive underneath, at times they don't. Let's see if this one has. So I need to pick it out right there. It had very little. Now we need to access this, pick that rubber cushioning, and then we are going to pick off that solder. So this is the guest of today, and we can put that to the side. That's the reason now I didn't need to disconnect the fiber for the fingerprint, but at times you do it so that you don't tear it by mistake. Anyway, so the next thing is I need my reflow station to remove that port.
No wonder this whole city.
Right, let me bring it. So I'm going to set it to 350 degrees Celsius and put the airflow rate at 6. So now the idea is I'm going to pick it up, and I don't know whether I should zoom in, but I think I'm lifting this, so apply heat and let the other one fall under its weight. But then the fall height shouldn't be so much, because since surrounding components may reach the same temperature at which the solder softens, you don't want them flying off the board. So the fall height should be limited to not more than 1 centimeter. Okay, just like that, the port is out. Now that's a skill you pick up with time. I have seen people struggle, and you find that the entire board here has been made to become black just because they do not know how to apply heat. All right, now the next thing is we need to get our donor port ready so that we can replace this. All right, so a container bearing the donor ports. Now I believe this is in this format. Is it? Let me first confirm that. Seems to fit, but let me get another and compare the two. Okay, I think this is more close to it than this is. Now we just pick out one. Okay, I think let me zoom in since the focus is now on this operation. Sorry, my zoom has sort of a lag, so bear with me. Wait, did I pick it out already? Huh. I could have sworn I saw a port here. So we pick out that. All right. Now I need to get my soldering iron. That can be a nightmare. You forgot you tore your trousers. You're traumatizing people.
It seems you rarely move out of this room.
I actually move. It's just that it's always locked. And then now that thing doesn't do people justice. Whenever I look there and see darkness, like, it's not in. Yeah. I think I'm going to remove it such that people don't think I'm not around. Well, let me pick flags. Now where's solder? Casting crowns. Okay. Solder's there. Right. I believe my soldering gun is heat up, or soldering iron. Let me just test that. Oh, this is a zoomed in image, so it may not necessarily represent the natural scale of things. Okay, so I need to feel the tip of this and clean it up to allow it hold solder well. Okay, need to clean the tip. I bought a soldering wick. Let me see. Now is the time to test it. Right there, still in the box. And then this guy asking for a golden color, he gave me black. It's not a serious man. So let me just zoom out so that you see what I just bought to add on to my collection of tools. So this basically looks like steel wire. So you put it inside that container, and that helps with cleaning the tip. So just poke it like this and it comes out scratched clean. So yeah, some of these tools simplify your life. I know I could scrape it off manually using my blade, but it's time consuming. Anyway, let's get back to the guest of today. So first thing is I'm going to have to unclog that opening for the anchoring pads. Now this is where a lot of people blunder. I don't see my suction tool, but I'm going to just blow air off camera through it so that when this gets molten, I blow air, gets whole. So you can see that now these two are already open. Now I need to do that and that. Okay, so the openings are unclogged, and now the next thing is to bring our donor port and bring it into place. All right, so that allows the anchor points to sit in, to allowing our conductive lines to come into place. So I'm going to put flags there. That's to prevent oxidation of the terminals. Let me crank up the ISO to allow you to see. I hope you're able to see. So now, as usual, we'll begin with the extreme pads. Those are the ones for power, swap to and fro, and then now come for the data lines, and then the OTG enable terminal, like that. Having done those, the next thing is to solder the anchor points in place. Okay, hope you're still able to see me. Let me try to focus there. Now bring solder. And that's how easy replacing a port can be if you understand what's happening, so that you do it in a manner that you do not damage the person's data lines or even that lower subboard. So it begins from how to remove it perfectly well, how to remove the old port perfectly well from the board, and then how to move on systematically. So now I'm going to just press this a little down so that this last pad sets in, and this is the anchoring terminal. So that's what I'm doing here, just polishing it up. So after anchoring, I'm going to add some more flux to the conductive lines right there at the back, and then swab twice. Now that's how you deal with a port. Normally people want to get the solder and put it directly there. No, you put it at the tip of the soldering iron because it's micro soldering, and then swab to and fro. So the solder that's at the tip of the soldering iron will move and coalesce with the terminals that you're soldering, and that's how you deliver a perfect job. Don't you see that it's clean? Now let's assemble and test the device. So I can now put aside the soldering gun and zoom out, okay, to bring the entire thing into frame. Right, now we are, or that's why I normally disconnect, because at times the brain forgets and find you ripped the phone up, the fiber apart. Okay, lucky I noticed the resistance, and now we put it back. Do not forget to put this pad back because this helps absorb some of the bending forces, so it cushions. So we lift this up and then put that underneath, plug that in, then bring our coaxial cable. It's very common for people to forget to plug this in, so whenever you take your phone for charging port replacement and it comes back without network, it's highly likely that they forgot to plug in that. Now it shouldn't really worry you unless the person is unaware that that's what causes that. It just only takes you taking it back and it's replugged in. All right, now I think I can come and screw back the phone. Oh yeah, this is a Tecno Spark 8 Pro, just in case you're wondering what we are doing here. And we are refurbishing it, getting it to working ways again by replacing the charging port, which we have already done. And just like you've seen, it's an easy process. And I believe given the tools and the knowledge, you should be able to do it. Maybe the only challenge would be that you do not have the tools or the replacement parts. But I know if you really want to consider it as a business, it should be easy for you to go into it. Okay, I think I'm in need of one screw. And there it is. Oh, you might be wondering why I'm screwing it before testing it. But if you've done this long enough, you're a little confident with your work. But before I put the final back cover, let me just do the testing to get peace of mind, even in closing the phone. So turn it upside down and then plug in. I think I've plugged in. Have I? I believe I've plugged in. Okay, then I get the charging icon. Now I am going to, okay, I get a battery warning on my phone. So we are at 34%. Let me pause, wait some 3-4 minutes, and then come back so that we notice whether the percentage has risen. All right, so now we are at 35%. So I think I can proceed to close this phone. Anyway, welcome to Phone Lookout. Hit the subscribe button, share, and like. Now, when you're covering this back, normally begin with the side that has the power and volume buttons, and then bring the other sides down. The idea is you don't want these buttons to kill the other electronic components that they are supposed to press against. Okay, so I think that's well pressed. That's well pressed. All right, SIM card tray. SIM card. Thank you for watching. So this phone is back to working ways, and can now feel free to charge it. See you in the next video. Be sure to always come back, watch other subsequent videos. Thank you.